Have you ever woken up in the morning and thought to yourself, why do I still feel so tired? Not just groggy, not just needing a few more minutes of sleep, but truly drained, even after a full night's rest. Like your body is slower to respond, your mind feels foggy, and just getting out of bed feels like a chore. I know that feeling all too well. For years, I thought it was just a part of getting older. You hear it your whole life. That's just aging. You start to accept it, the stiffness, the fatigue, the slower mornings. But here's something no one really told me. It doesn't have to be that way. Sure, aging brings change, but feeling sluggish, foggy, or disconnected every morning, that's not a requirement. That's something we can influence, and I didn't learn that truth until I turned 70. I wish, truly wish, I had known this at 60, because that's when I could have made the changes that would have made the last decade of my life feel so much more vibrant, more energized, and more fulfilling. But the good news is, it's never too late. I started at 70, and the difference it made was so powerful that I can't help but share it with you today. This video is for you if you're in your 60s, 70s, or even beyond, and you've started to feel like the mornings are just harder than they used to be, like your days are dragging before they even start. Today, I want to talk to you like a friend, because if we were sitting across from each other, maybe at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee in hand, this is exactly what I'd want to tell you. How I changed my mornings, and in doing so, changed my life. Now, I'm not here to sell you a perfect morning routine filled with green juices, cold plunges, or hour-long meditations. That's not realistic for most of us. I'm here to talk about small, practical things that are simple to do, cost nothing, and make a world of difference. And it all starts with how we wake up. The first thing I changed was what I stopped doing. For the longest time, I'd wake up, reach for my phone, and immediately start scrolling. News, emails, social media, whatever was on that screen, it became the first thing I fed my brain each morning. And usually, that meant stress, bad news, and other people's problems before I had even stood up. And let me tell you something, your brain is incredibly sensitive in the first few minutes after you wake up. It's like a sponge, soaking in whatever you give it. I was soaking in chaos, and over time, that chaos wore me down. I didn't realize it, but it was affecting my mood, my energy, and how I felt about the day ahead. So one day, I decided to try something different. I left my phone on the dresser and just sat up in bed. I put my feet on the floor and took a few deep breaths. That's it. Nothing fancy. I took a moment to feel the ground under my feet. I looked out the window. I let my eyes adjust to the morning light, and I said a quiet, thank you. Not a prayer necessarily, just gratitude. Thank you for this day. Thank you that I woke up. It sounds so simple, but that moment of stillness became one of the most powerful parts of my morning. It gave me space. It gave me calm. It let me start the day on my terms, not the world's. And after doing this for a few weeks, I noticed something unexpected. I felt lighter, less anxious. I didn't dread the day ahead. In fact, I looked forward to it because I had claimed the first few minutes for myself. Now, after that moment of quiet, I do something I never thought I'd say out loud. I talk to myself. Yep, I actually talk to the person in the mirror. Not long speeches or anything dramatic, just a few kind words. You're doing great. You've come a long way. Today is yours. Things like that. You see, as we get older, it's easy to fall into a habit of self-criticism. We look in the mirror and see wrinkles, gray hairs, softer skin. We think about the things we used to do, the energy we used to have, and we can be so harsh on ourselves. I did it for years, but then I thought, if I wouldn't speak that way to a friend, why was I speaking that way to myself? So I started being kind to the person I saw in the mirror. It felt strange at first. But with time, those little affirmations became a habit. They became part of how I started my day, and slowly I started to believe them. I carried that kindness into the rest of my day, into how I moved, how I ate, how I talked to others. It was like planting a seed each morning that would grow throughout the day. Next, I gently moved my body, and I do mean gently. No push-ups or fancy workouts, just simple stretching. A few minutes of reaching up toward the ceiling, rolling my shoulders, loosening my neck. Maybe a slow walk around the house or dancing a little to a favorite song. Yes, even at 7 in the morning. My joints used to feel stiff, especially in my knees and lower back. But when I started moving first thing, that stiffness started to fade. I felt more awake, more alive, more connected to my body. The thing is, our bodies want to move. Even if we've slowed down with age, movement sends a signal. Hey, I'm still here. I'm still capable. And when you move first thing in the morning, even just for 5 or 10 minutes, it sets the tone. It tells your body, we're going to use this day, not just get through it. And listen, you don't need to be flexible. You don't need to follow a YouTube routine or buy fancy equipment. You can stretch while sitting in bed. You can lift your arms above your head, take a deep breath, and let it out slowly. The point isn't performance, it's presence. It's saying to yourself, this body is still mine, and I'm going to take care of it. Now, if this is resonating with you, if you're sitting there thinking, I could do that, then take a second right now to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more people who might need to hear this message. And it tells me that you want more content like this, real, practical advice that supports you in living your best life right where you are. So far, we've talked about reclaiming the first few minutes of your morning with stillness, kindness, and gentle movement. These small acts may seem simple, but they have power. They're not about changing who you are. They're about reconnecting with yourself in a way that makes you feel alive again. And trust me, when you start your day with even one of these habits, you'll feel a difference. And now, once I've taken that quiet time, spoken gently to myself, and stretched out the stiffness, there's one more thing I always do before anything else. And it might just be the most important part of all. So there I was, feet on the floor, body gently stretched, feeling more connected to myself than I had in years. But something was still missing. Even with the stillness, the movement, and the kindness, my energy would dip mid-morning. Around 10 a.m., I'd feel sluggish again. Not emotionally, but physically, like someone had let the air out of my tires. And after some trial and error, I realized the missing piece. What I was putting into my body right after waking up. For decades, my mornings started with a hot cup of coffee and, well, nothing else. Sometimes toast, maybe a sweet pastry if I was feeling indulgent, but mostly I just ran on caffeine until lunchtime. It's what I'd always done, and I didn't think much of it. But looking back, I see how much I was running. On fumes. That caffeine spike would lift me up for an hour or so, and then, bam, I'd crash. So I made a change. Not all at once, and not perfectly. But I started to treat my first meal of the day as fuel, not just tradition. I began drinking water before coffee. Just 1 glass, room temperature. I'd heard somewhere that our bodies wake up dehydrated after sleeping, and I figured I'd test the theory. And guess what? It worked. That 1 glass of water made a bigger difference than I expected. My headaches lessened, my digestion improved, and I didn't feel so foggy right after waking up. Next, I added something small to eat. Nothing too heavy, just something with a bit of protein and fiber. A hard-boiled egg, a small bowl of oats with a handful of berries, even just a spoonful of peanut butter on a slice of whole-grain toast. I found that when I gave my body some real nourishment, my mind responded in kind. I had more energy, not just physically, but mentally. I could focus better. I wasn't yawning through conversations or feeling like I needed another nap by 11 a.m. Now, I'm not here to give you a lecture about nutrition. I'm not a doctor, and I'm certainly not perfect. But I can tell you this from personal experience. When you start your day with something that supports your body, whether that's water, a little protein, or a food that makes you feel good, you give yourself a head start. And after 60, we need every bit of energy we can get. So ask yourself, what does your morning fuel look like? Is it supporting you or draining you? You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Just start with one change. Maybe tomorrow morning, skip the sugary pastry and have a boiled egg instead. Or maybe just drink a glass of water before your coffee. These are small things, but they add up. Now, I want to share something that might sound unusual, but it's become one of my favorite parts of the morning. I take 10 minutes to sit quietly and do nothing, except focus on my breathing. Some people call it meditation. I used to think meditation was something only monks did in faraway temples. I pictured people sitting cross-legged for hours, eyes closed, humming. That was so not me, but what I discovered is that meditation doesn't have to be mystical or complicated. It can just be sitting in a chair with your eyes closed, breathing deeply, and noticing what's going on in your mind. Not judging your thoughts, not trying to stop them, just observing. I don't always get it right. Some mornings my mind races the whole time. Other days I find a moment of stillness. But no matter what happens, I always feel better afterward. This tiny practice, just 10 minutes of quiet, helped me stop feeling overwhelmed by little things. I started to respond instead of react. You know what I mean? Like when someone calls with a problem, or there's a delay, or something unexpected comes up. Suddenly I had more patience, more space in my mind to handle it. That came from practicing stillness, even if it was just for a few moments each day. You don't have to sit cross-legged on the floor. You can sit in your favorite armchair. Just close your eyes, breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly, and listen to what's happening inside. Some mornings you might feel peaceful. Other mornings you might realize your mind is spinning with worry. But the key is to notice it. That awareness is powerful. It's like giving your mind a reset before the noise of the day begins. If this idea feels strange or uncomfortable, that's okay. I felt that way too. But I encourage you, just try it once. Tomorrow morning, after you stretch, after you drink your water, just sit. Set a timer for 5 minutes. That's it. Breathe and listen. It might surprise you how much peace is waiting for you in that silence. Now let's talk about something a little more fun. Because for all the quiet, the stillness, and the stretching, I also needed joy. And one of the biggest changes I made was adding a little bit of joy into my morning, on purpose. For me, that meant music. I started playing music while I was getting dressed or making breakfast. Not just background noise, but music that made me feel something. Sometimes it's a song that brings back good memories, a favorite from my younger years that gets me tapping my foot. Other days, it's something calming and instrumental that sets a peaceful tone. But every day, I play something that lifts my spirit, and on the really good mornings, I dance a little. I'm no dancer, believe me, but in the privacy of my kitchen, while the eggs are cooking and the sun's coming up, I let my body move. Nothing fancy, just swaying, stepping side to side, maybe spinning around once if I'm feeling bold. That little moment of music and movement, it's like giving my soul a hug. We forget how much joy lives in music, how it can instantly change our mood, bring back a memory, or give us that little spark we didn't know we needed. I know people who start their day with gospel music or jazz or classical. It doesn't matter what you choose. What matters is that you choose something that lifts you up. Think about this. What's one song that makes you smile every time you hear it? What's a tune that reminds you of a time you felt alive, loved, or free? Add that song to your morning. Let it be the soundtrack to your day. Even if it's just for 2 minutes while you brush your teeth, trust me, it matters. So there you have it. After I've woken up slowly, stretched my body, spoken kindly to myself, fueled up with real nourishment, sat in quiet and played a song that made me smile. I feel ready, not just awake but alive. And what started as an experiment turned into a ritual. A gift I give myself every single morning. If this video is speaking to you, if it's reminding you that it's never too late to feel better, to feel lighter, to feel you again, then take a second and click the like button. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. It's the easiest way to stay connected with this channel, and it helps us keep creating videos like this. Honest, encouraging, and made especially for people like you. Now that we've talked about the power of quiet moments, gentle movement, nourishing fuel, and even a little music, there's still one more piece of this routine that changed everything for me. Something that brought meaning, purpose, and connection into every single day. By now, you might be thinking, this all sounds lovely, but what if I'm still waking up feeling a little empty? I felt that too. Even after the stretching, the water, the music, there were mornings that felt hollow. Like I had the routine down, but something was still missing. And then it hit me. I needed purpose. I needed a reason to get up that wasn't just about going through the motions. That's when I started adding intention to my mornings, not a to-do list, not chores or errands. I'm talking about something deeper, a simple reflection on what I wanted that day to feel like, what I wanted to bring into the world. I started asking myself one quiet question each morning before the rest of the day had a chance to distract me. What do I want to create today? Sometimes the answer was peace. Sometimes it was connection. Some days it was something small, like I want to write a letter or I want to be patient with myself. Other days it was I want to laugh more. It didn't matter what. The answer was, it mattered that I asked, that I gave myself a moment to choose how I wanted to show up in my own life. It's easy to feel like we're just going through the motions after a certain age. Retirement, empty nest, slower routines, life changes, and sometimes it feels like we're just filling time. But you and I both know that life still matters. Every day we're given is a day we can shape, if only we pause long enough to decide how. I started writing down my intention on a little notepad I keep by the kitchen counter. Just one sentence. No pressure, no expectations. Just a reminder to myself that this day, this one right here, is mine. And having that quiet anchor helped me feel less adrift. It reminded me that I'm still creating a life even now, especially now, but that wasn't all. There was one more thing I added to my mornings that filled me up in a way nothing else could: connection. After all, we're not meant to go through this life alone, and while some of us may be widowed, living alone, or far from our children, or old friends, that doesn't mean we have to feel isolated. So I made a commitment. Every morning I reach out to one person. Just one. It could be a quick text to my daughter, "Hope today goes smoothly for you," or a voice message to an old friend, "Thinking of you today." Sometimes it's a good morning greeting in a Facebook group I joined for folks my age, where we share memories and talk about life. That one act, reaching out, reminds me that I belong somewhere, that I still have people in my life, and they still have me. You'd be amazed at how much a small message can lift someone's spirits, not to mention your own. And more often than not, I get a message back, a conversation starts, a memory is shared, and suddenly the morning feels full, not just of tasks, but of life. Connection doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a smile at the neighbor you see walking by, a note left for your spouse, a call to someone who hasn't heard your voice in a while. It can even be leaving a comment on a video like this, sharing your thoughts, your memories, your hopes, because here's the truth. Even the most beautifully crafted morning routine will fall flat without meaning. And for me, meaning comes from love, from the kindness I show myself and the kindness I offer to others. When I started giving both in small, consistent ways, my entire day, and honestly, my entire outlook, transformed. Let's take a moment, right now, Think of one person in your life you could send a kind message to tomorrow morning. Who would that be? What might you say? Even something as simple as, "You were on my mind. Hope you're doing well." Try it. Just one person, one line. Watch what it does for you. Now let's step back for a second. Let's look at everything we've walked through together. I know this has been a lot, but if you're still here with me, it means something. Is stirring inside you. And that makes me smile because I know what that stirring feels like. It's hope. It's that quiet voice that says, I want to feel better. I want to feel alive again. And guess what? You can. You can wake up tomorrow and claim your morning. You can stretch, breathe, and drink water instead of jumping into a rush. You can speak to yourself with love instead of criticism. You can feed your body with care. You can sit in stillness, dance in your kitchen, sing along to your favorite song, set a gentle intention, reach out to a friend. You can do any of those things, and you don't need a new gadget, a personal trainer, or a perfect life to begin. You just need you, right here, right now. I'm not telling you this as someone who had it all figured out from the start. I'm telling you this as someone who made the mistake of thinking he didn't have any control over how the day felt, who thought life after 70 was just a waiting game. But once I started changing my mornings, everything shifted. And now, every day feels like a new opportunity instead of just another page on the calendar. So let me leave you with this. No matter your age, no matter your circumstances, you deserve to feel good in the morning. You deserve to feel proud of how you greet each day. And you deserve to believe, truly believe, that the best parts of your life are not behind you. They're still unfolding. Every sunrise is a chance, a fresh start, a moment to say, today I will choose peace. Today I will choose joy. Today I will choose me. If this video touched you, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what part of your morning you might try shifting. Or maybe share your own tips, because I know there's wisdom in this community that's just waiting to be spoken out loud. And if you haven't already, please like this video and hit that subscribe button. It's the simplest way to stay connected. With more content like this, real, heartfelt, and made with you in mind, thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for being open to trying something new. And thank you most of all for being someone who still believes in growth, in joy, and in living fully, no matter what the calendar says. Here's to mornings that feel like a fresh start. Here's to kindness for yourself and for others. And here's to living your best life at any age.